Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Mansing. The Golden Grove Detention Facility is still on a modified lockdown. Prison officials instituted the lockdown as a precautionary measure late Friday because of a possible meningitis scare. News 2's Erica Parsons has an update.
There's no word yet on whether an inmate who caused Golden Grove to be on lockdown since Friday has meningitis.
We're still waiting on the culture to come back on that inmate.
Bureau of Corrections Director Julius Wilson says a 61-year-old prisoner was taken to Juan Louis Hospital Thursday night because of stomach pains. The prison's medical staff had been treating him and they suggested he be tested for meningitis.
He had been sick for about a week and he didn't show signs of improvement. So medical took him to the hospital. He was admitted.
The inmate would have come into contact with dozens of people, both staff and prisoners, so officials moved quickly to take preventive measures. That means the prison's emergency operational plan kicked in. The lockdown, suspension of all inmate movement activities and visitors, counseling and updates for both staff and prisoners, and antibiotics.
We started cleaning the facility. We started to brief the staff on what was going on. We started to brief the inmates. We got a hold of the Department of Health. We've got the medication that we dispensed. We want to be very careful. You know, in a communal living environment, you have to be. Yeah, disease can spread very rapidly, so we have to be on top of this.
Wilson says the inmate who's still at the hospital is doing much better. He says they'll start the process Tuesday to allow visitors. Inmates have already gotten access back to the cafeteria and outdoor recreation, but only housing units at a time.
My medical director and my warden and the staff have done an excellent job, and I must commend them. We gave them gloves and masks the first day, and we provided them with the medication, and I think they feel a lot more comfortable. But still, we can't let them go. We have to still maintain the prison.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
The prison was placed on full lockdown Friday, but over the weekend it changed to a modified lockdown, which means prisoners are allowed in common areas and housing units. Well, the new supervisor of elections is not on board yet officially, but she attended the Democratic Party's St. Croix district meeting. Saturday, Caroline Fox was appointed by the Elections Board in July, but she's still waiting for the paperwork to be processed by the government. St. Croix Board of Elections Board Chair Adelbert Bryan was invited to speak about the 2014 election process. Fox said she took that opportunity to not only hear the presentation, but to introduce herself to the party members and the public.
Applied to be the supervisor of election because I think I can make a difference and I'm wanting to give back service to the community. I'm not on board officially as yet, but I have been going in and volunteering. I have reached out to Mr. John Abramson, the former supervisor, and have spoken with him and look forward to working on some things with him when I get on the job officially. I got my system and upbringing from my parents, my family, and God, and in God I trust, everyone else I check. And I'm here to serve the community and do the best job that I can in the election system. I look forward to a fair, accessible, and transparent election process, working with the people and serving my community.
Back-to-school preparation is in full effect and orientation schedules are out. News 2's Shaniqua Robinson has managed to gather this information for you, so let's take a look.
Students are getting ready to head back to school, and the following is a brief wrap-up of student orientations and start dates. The Bertha C. Bachelta Middle School orientation sessions are scheduled for Friday, August 20th, 6th graders at noon, new and returning 7th graders at 1:30 p.m., and new and returning 8th graders at 4 p.m. The Charlotte Amalie High School orientation and class schedule distribution will take place in the school's Ruth E. Thomas Auditorium. All 9th graders with last names A through L will report on August 28th at 8 a.m. 9th graders with last names M through Z will also report on August 28th, but at noon. All 10th graders will report on September 3rd at 8 a.m., 11th graders on September 3rd at 12:30 p.m., and 12th graders on September 4th at 8 a.m. The Ivana Idurican High School orientation is scheduled as follows: 12th graders on August 26th, 11th graders on the 27th, 10th graders on the 28th, and 9th graders on the 29th. All orientations are scheduled to begin at 4 p.m. and ID pictures will be taken on each day at 1 p.m. On the island of St. Croix, all elementary school orientations are scheduled for Friday, August 30th at 8:30 a.m., with the exception of the Eulalie Rivera Elementary School, who will meet from 8:30 to 10 a.m., the Ricardo Richards School from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and Lou Muckle at 10 a.m. to noon. Both the Arthur A. Richards and John H. Woodson Junior High Schools will meet on Wednesday, August 28th at 9 a.m., and the Elena Christian Junior High School 7th graders will meet at 9 a.m. and the 8th graders at 11 a.m. The St. Croix Central High School orientations are scheduled for 9th graders on August 28th. 9th graders with last names A through K will report from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and last names L through Z from 12:30 to 3:30. Both 10th and 11th graders will meet on August 30th. 10th graders from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and 11th graders from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. 12th grade students will report on August 31st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The St. Croix Educational Complex High School orientation is scheduled for 12th and 11th graders on August 28th, 12th graders at 11 a.m. and 11th graders at 1:30 p.m. 10th graders are scheduled for August 29th at 11 a.m. 9th graders are scheduled for August 30th. Students' names beginning with A through I at 11 a.m. and J through Z at 1:30 p.m. Shaniqua Robinson, News 2.
Now, the school schedules were provided by the Department of Education, and you can visit them online at www.vide.vi for more information. And just a reminder, new diplomas will be distributed this week to all 2013 graduates of the St. Croix Educational Complex or their parents. The distribution will begin on Monday, August 26th today and run until Wednesday, August 28th from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. All seniors must return their previously issued diplomas in order to receive a new one. The diplomas were recently reordered to reflect a change in the signature line. Please contact the school at 778-2036 if you have any additional questions. Well, 41-year-old Gregory LeBlanc of Estate Windberg was found dead, and detectives continue to investigate the Backstreet shooting. Here's more information from the VIPD.
Police were dispatched to a call of shots fired at about 1:25 a.m. on August 24th. Emergency medical personnel on the scene said the victim had gunshot injuries and they could not detect any vital signs. The victim was later identified as 41-year-old Gregory LeBlanc of Estate Windberg. Major crime detectives canvassed the area for witnesses, and forensic detectives processed the scene for evidence. This case is being actively investigated by the Major Crimes Unit. Detectives are asking anyone with any information regarding this fatal shooting to contact the Major Crime Detectives at 642-8449, call Emergency Dispatch 911, or call Crime Stoppers.
Police on St. Croix are investigating a first-degree robbery, meanwhile, in carjacking that occurred in Gallows Bay just after midnight on August 24th. Police said two suspects with their faces covered, one armed with a handgun, approached the male victim and demanded his cell phone and the keys to his car. The suspects fled the area in the victim's vehicle, a white Honda Civic, license plate number CE1001. The victim said the armed suspect was tall and slim and wore a gray hoodie. He did not give a description of the second suspect. This case is being followed up by the Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives. An out-of-control wildfire continues to burn in and around Yosemite National Park. It is now 15% contained. It's not only threatening thousands of homes, but also San Francisco's water supply, along with a forest of ancient trees. Bigad Shaban has the latest details from near Yosemite National Park.
As wildfires go, this one is epic. The giant trees that have been growing for 2,000 years are now being threatened by flames that have already charred an area the size of Chicago. Also in danger, thousands of homes and businesses. Firefighters say strong winds, dry conditions, and rugged terrain make this an extremely difficult blaze to control.
Everything burns, and with intensity.
The so-called rim fire is burning in and around Yosemite National Park, an area Abraham Lincoln designated for protection nearly 150 years ago. More than 3.5 million people visit Yosemite every year, with big crowds typically around Labor Day. The out-of-control fire has already left the park badly scarred. To protect the giant sequoias, which are among the oldest living things on Earth, firefighters are cleaning out brush and watering trees with sprinklers. Ash from the fire is falling in a reservoir that supplies much of San Francisco's water. It hasn't affected water quality yet, but some generators that rely on the reservoir to power the city have been shut down. Bigatchaban, CBS News, near Yosemite National Park.
And keeping our eye on the economy, stocks opened higher, even though a new report suggests businesses are spending less. Earnings at American Airlines soared last month. The company made $292 million, more than double its profits from July of last year. American is trying to merge with U.S. Airways, but the Justice Department is blocking the deal. The case will have to go to trial. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Everything down, the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P. The Dow 64, S&P 6. Coming up on News 2, we take a look at the prices at the pumps. And today was recognized as Women Equality Day, the annual observance, always held on August 26th. Details coming up next. What are those prices looking like at the pumps? Hovenza adjusted the rack rates for regular gasoline by 6 cents per gallon for premium gasoline and by 3 cents per gallon, and diesel by 7 cents. Independent station operators in the territory are now paying $3.36 per gallon for regular, $3.60 per gallon for premium, and $3.57 per gallon for diesel fuel when they buy their fuel wholesale from Hovenza. The 14 cents per gallon tax that the refinery collects for the government is included. Governor John P. DeYoung Jr. has submitted an agreement between the Virgin Islands government and the Government Employees Retirement System to use property tax collections for 2005 and prior to meet the employer contributions so that recent retirees can receive their rightful pension benefits. The agreement, as proposed by the government, would be signed by DeYoung and Vincent G. Liger, chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Retirement System. It stipulates that the balance left in the Special Real Property Tax Receipts Fund after the government has repaid a loan from November of 2011 will complete the government's outstanding contributions to pensions for government employees who retired since October 1st, 2010 and through December 31st, 2013, and who the GERS has determined requires the payment of missing employer contributions in order to receive their annuity. Lawrence J. Kupfer, president and CEO of Virgin Islands Next Generation Network, says that VINGN has connected its first community anchor institution and public computer center served from its Frederiksted fiber access point. The community anchor institution and public computer center that has been connected is the Athalie McFarlane Peterson Public Library, and the library's internet service provider should complete its connection to the VINGN network later this week. The VINGN Public Computer Center, which is provided in partnership with the library, will allow the public to experience firsthand the capabilities of VINGN's high-speed network. VINGN's 100% fiber optic cable network will enable internet service providers to offer the highest internet speeds available in the territory. Kupfer says that a ribbon-cutting ceremony will be held when the remaining community anchor institutions in Frederiksted have been connected and the CAIs and PCCs have obtained service through an internet service provider. Well, today was recognized as Women's Equality Day. It's an annual observance on August 26th that recognizes the day women were first given full voting rights in 1920. It also commemorates the passage of the 19th Amendment, the Women's Suffrage Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. The day also calls attention to continuing efforts toward full equality for women worldwide. Prior to the end of World War II, no woman served in any official capacity in the National Guard. In 1957, First Lieutenant Sylvia Marie St. Charles Law was the first woman soldier in the Army National Guard. Take a look at some of the names there. Today, the Virgin Islands National Guard has women throughout its ranks who have served and continue to serve. Well, what does it take to become the VI Idol? More than 16 talented musicians learned that it's much more than just a great voice. There's lyrical contents of the music, style, swag, stage presence, and performance. Some of the categories the judges were focused on during the seventh VI Idol Grand Finale competition that was held on Saturday at the Reichel Center for the Arts. But in the end, Elva Escobar was the winner. Be sure to tune in to News 2 on Tuesday. We will have many highlights from that show. Well, stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.